to my YouTube channel. Jennifer Bryantton here. Today I want to talk to you about the nutritional value of rice. As you can see, I have all sorts of rice in my pantry, and rice is used for so many different things and so many different recipes. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to different foods and whatnot, so if you're not interested in knowing all this, I totally get it. But if you're like me and you want to know all the little different things and all the foods we eat, I'm your gal. First thing I'm going to tell you is the difference between a short grain and a long grain rice. So short grain rices are your high starchy rices that get plump and sticky. It's your rice like your sushi rice, your I probably won't say it right, but arborio rice, that's what you make risotto out of. Things that stick together and they're sticky. And your other rice is your long grain rice, and that are your rices like jasmine rice, basmati rice, your brown rices, red rices, black rices, all of those. And those are your fluffy rices, and they're long and slender. So to be considered a long grain rice, it has to be over 6.5 millimeters long, and for short grain it has to be under I think it's four milliliters long. No, maybe it's five millimeters long. So anyway, so that's kind of the difference between short grain and long grain. You got your starchy, plump rice, and then you have your dry, fluffy rice. So when it comes to your health, long grain rices are better for you, because the short grains, because they are, plump and sticky, they have a lot more starch in them, and that can, increase blood sugar, spike your blood sugar, that kind of thing. Your long grains have less of that starch. The starch in the rice, like when you say starch, it's like, let's see, long chains of glucose, and there are two different things in that chain called an amylose and then an amylopectin. And different rices have different compounds. So if you're trying to not increase blood sugars, not spike blood sugars, then long grain rice is better for you, especially if you're a diabetic. Now, let's talk about the fiber in rice. I think when we have carbohydrates, we also need to make sure that the carbohydrates we're eating have fiber. And so white rice is processed in the way that the outer coat, the seed coat, that's also called the bran, is taken off of it. And so because of the processing, a lot of the fiber is in the bran, and so you lose that when you process and get white rice. So that bran fiber is an insoluble fiber, and that is the kind of fiber that boosts your gut health, and it's really, really good for you. So we could compare minerals in rice all day long, but today we'll just focus on the fiber for a few minutes. But let's just talk about white rice for a second. White rice has about 1.5, maybe 2 grams of fiber per serving. And when I say serving, like 100 milliliters, maybe quarter of a cup of rice cooked. And white rice has some protein. It actually has 4 grams of protein in white rice. And then when you get to brown rice, which most people either choose white rice or brown rice is a healthier choice because it does have the bran on it, which brings it to 3 grams of fiber per serving and 4 grams of protein. So right off the bat, there's more fiber in your brown rice, and this is what your brown rice looks like versus your white rice. You can see how the white rice has lost its little shell, and you can still see it on the brown rice there. It's kind of fun to play with. When it comes to rice, I tell you, most of us, when we're cooking rice, we don't eat it just by itself. We're mixing it in something. It's either going in a burrito bowl or a salad, or we're having it with, a meat and vegetables and different things. So I like to be a little adventurous. So the other rice I want to talk to you about with fiber and stuff are your red and black rices. So your black rice has like 4.5 grams of fiber per serving and 9 grams of protein. That's a lot of protein. to get from rice. So if you're trying to, you know, have protein, go for the black rice. It has quite a bit. As for red rice, in my opinion, this is probably the most nutritious. Red rice comes in at having 6 grams of fiber per serving, and it has 5 grams of protein. I know the black rice has a little more protein, but 6 grams of fiber I think is a big deal. The red rice also has the same antioxidants like blueberries have in them. So because of the color of it, you can see it's that reddish color, just like blueberries and purple potatoes and all that stuff. It's called like anthocyanins, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's the same antioxidant like in blueberries and whatnot. So because you get a high antioxidant and you're getting a high gram, you know, the highest fiber content, I personally think red rice is your #1 rice to consume. So out of all the rices, you know, I don't think any rice is bad for you, but depending on your health and what your goals are, you know, you just have to read labels and look at the differences in the different rices. Go with rices. First off, healthier choice is to go with a long grain, and in my opinion, red rice is your healthiest one. To up your fiber and to get that insoluble fiber that makes you feel full longer, and you will not feel as hungry and will most likely eat less and consume fewer calories, I like to mix my rice with lentils. If you've followed me for any amount of time, you know that I actually just love eating lentils. So, you know, when you cook your rice, cook some lentils in there, and then you've got quite the meal. So anyway, any questions about rice, you know, send them my way. Be sure to click follow below and follow me on YouTube and all of my other channels, and check out jenniferbryanton.com, and I'll see you next time.